So how do I envision us maintaining this poetry way of life and keeping poetry? I think it all starts with Mayor Tara continuing to be the mayor of this town. She is the sole reason we are a town through her blood, sweat, and tears and extreme volunteer efforts, if you will, that allowed us to incorporate in the first place. It only makes sense to continue the journey with her at the front of it. I think at the end of the day, if all that comes out of us remaining incorporated is the fact that we have a say in the dealings of our town. We border the fastest growing counties and the fastest growing cities in North Texas. It's inevitable that growth is going to be knocking on our doorstep. And the fact that we now have a say wherein we didn't, that is a vast improvement, and we need to keep it. So keeping her as mayor is the first step. And I've seen her handle the personal attacks, the attacks on her character. I've seen her handle this with grace, and no one seems to mention the milestones that she's accomplished throughout this entire journey. It all seems to be just a personal attack. And as someone that maintains grace and level-headedness and still continues the love thy neighbor mentality, and keeping this town, centered into everything that she's doing, it just makes sense to have someone like that representing the town. When it comes to the council, we all know that the mayor has certain powers, but the council actually has all the power. They are the ones who cast the votes. They just put Mayor Tara to work, and we have to maintain the proper people on the council because they're the ones who are going to make the proper decisions going forward. I've met with Ivy Campbell and Jonathan Blake. They're our new candidates running, and they are true poetry patriots. They, at the end of the day, just want to be a true voice for the citizens of poetry. They have everything that it takes to go door to door to say, hey, I want to listen. They have my full vote. Simeon White is brilliant. He has a vast wealth of knowledge. He is extremely level-headed, and maintaining his position on the council is imperative. Tom Anderson is the nicest, most genuine person I have ever met, and keeping him on the council with his vast wealth of knowledge, with the initiatives that he has planned, it only makes sense that these four are who will keep poetry the way that it was always meant to be. I've seen the personal attacks that came from the other four members that are running for council. I've seen how they've treated people. I've seen that when times get tough, they resort to personal attacks and tearing down of the government body that is supposed to keep everything going. And if it were up to me, no one who acts like that would ever be in any position of power ever. It's immature, it's childish, and it doesn't make sense to have somebody that can't have normal conversations when times get tough or disagreements happen, that what they resort to is let's just tear it all apart, let's just knock the walls down. And that mentality, nothing can be accomplished in that front. And that is why I think it is hugely important that we get to know our town councilmen and the candidates running, so that we can make the sound decisions that we have to keep the right people in power. Because at the end of the day, we cannot elect people that just resort to attacking and the tearing down of citizens, and ultimately the tearing down of the town because disagreements happen. Nothing can get accomplished that way.